Yeah, that coffee's good. Hey, welcome back to Prepping with Sarge. So one of the questions that I get a lot is, what are we going to do about caffeine and coffee addictions in a true grid down, long-term SHTF scenario? That is a fantastic question. And it also comes up in a lot of the Facebook foraging groups that I'm a part of. And I didn't really have a good solution up until very recently. My solution was always to, just stockpile as much as you could and hope that whatever the situation is, that it expires before you get to running out of your coffee, right? Because old Sarge has a coffee addiction. I bet a lot of you do too out there. And detoxing off of coffee is not going to be a party. Well, recently I discovered a solution, and I'm going to tell you all about it. Stay with me now. All right, so welcome back. Thank you for staying with me. So if you all weren't already aware, I recently did a podcast with my good friend Morgan from Rogue Preparedness. And in that podcast, Morgan mentioned a plant called the yaupon holly, which I was not familiar with. And you can find that podcast anywhere where you typically will download your podcast. But what was interesting is that Morgan mentioned a plant called the yaupon holly, which I was not familiar with. And it's really funny because the very next day, I just love it when the world and the universe is cosmic like this and the stars align. I happened to be out on a field trip with my wife and with Ray, our dog, and we came across this plant behind me. And I said, well, that's interesting. I'm not sure what that is. It looks a little bit like a holly plant, but it also, looks like some other stuff that I've seen. So I did some research on it, and lo and behold, it is yaupon holly. Now, what makes this plant very, very special is that it has some alleged medicinal qualities. I have to always throw in my disclaimer there because of the way things work in the universe. So some cultures believe that this plant behind me, that the leaves, not the berries, right? So let's be real clear on this. The berries are poisonous. Do not ingest the berries. Okay, the only thing we're going to be talking about in this video is the leaves. Some cultures believe that the leaves of the yaupon holly plant have anti-inflammatory and antihistamine qualities, okay? That statement has of course not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This video is not intended to diagnose, treat, or cure any conditions. I am just a YouTuber here for your entertainment purposes only. Do your own due diligent research, all right? But let's throw that out there. But what makes this plant even more interesting is that it is the only plant in North America, or rather the only known plant in North America that has caffeine in the leaves. That's kind of important. So where can you find it? What does it look like? We're going to get to all that, but I need you to stay with me here. I'm going to flip the camera so we can get some close-ups of this, and I want to show you what it looks like. All right, so this one is a fully grown, and you can see it's pretty tall. I'm going to say this is probably 15 feet tall, okay? I have seen smaller ones on the trail in here, and I'm going to try to get you some images of that as well. But let's get a close-up here, and it is late winter here in South Carolina. And this is what the berries look like. And this is the time of year between winter and late winter you're going to see the berries. Let's grab one off. See if we can get a close-up here for you. Okay, very bright, shiny berry. This is poisonous. Do not eat the berries, folks. Okay, and if you've seen some of my other videos, it's a lookalike to some of the other stuff that I've shown you, especially holly berries. Okay, because this is a type of holly berry. But let's pay attention to the leaves now. Okay, so this is what the stem looks like. You got that grayish color, right? Let's see if we can get a nice clear picture there for you of the bark. And this is let's get a look at these leaves. Okay, so this is, you can see it's an alternating pattern, right? 1, 2. Let's see. Let me get a better. There we go. See the layout, like left side, right side, left side, right side. Okay, that's the alternating pattern. And let's get some close-ups here. Now what threw me off here on this one is it does look a little different than your typical holly leaf. Take a look at the outer edges of that leaf and the shape of it. Take a look at the glossiness and how the veins of the leaf are not really visible on the top side. And then the bottom side is very dull. Okay. To the naked eye, I've got no fuzziness or little barbs or anything like that coming off of there. Okay, so take a look here. This is a juvenile yaupon holly, okay? And look how small that one is. The other one I showed you was about 15 feet. This one's only about 2 or 3 feet. And it would be, without those berries, it's kind of hard to identify, isn't it, right? So again, you have to go back to, let's see, let's go right here. You have to go back to the alternating leaves. Okay, you're gonna have to get a close-up of one of these leaves here to take a look at it. Right? Look at the shape on the edges of those leaves, okay? All right. There you go, that one's more clear. Look at that. Look at the shape on the edge of those leaves. The glossiness, the veins are hard to see, okay? Dull on the other side. I got no hairs or barbs or anything like that. But look at this. That bark there has a little bit more greenish tint to it, okay? And that's because it's newer growth. But if you get down to here, there's the gray, okay? That bark looks right. Okay, that bark looks right. So that is a juvenile yaupon holly. And where do we find this? Okay, so this is a wet area, but I can't say for sure that that's the only place you'll find it. I know that this grows everywhere from Virginia all the way south into Florida, all the way west to western part of Texas, okay? So if you're in one of the Northeast states, I doubt you're gonna see this. I'm sorry. You're gonna have to store a lot more caffeine than those of us in the South. No, sorry. Or you trade with somebody from the South. I don't know. Just a very, very interesting, lovely little plant here, and sacred plant really, because one of the actually it's the only known native source of caffeine that grows in North America, the yaupon holly. All right, so how do you prepare this? Well, I'm gonna tell you right now, but first I need you to do something for me. I need you to go down into the area down below, somewhere down here, smash that like button. And if you're not already, please subscribe. We drop videos at least twice a week. We like to talk about videos about wilderness survival, foraging, medicinal herbs, wild edibles. We also talk about financial survival. And for bonus points, these little fern-like things over here behind this shoulder, if you've been watching some of my videos, you should be able to identify those. So comment down below if you think you know what that is, all right? All right, so how do you prepare this? Well, you're gonna wanna make a tea, okay? So you're gonna take some of these leaves, right? So you're gonna wanna take a handful of these leaves and you're gonna dehydrate them. So you're, well, dry them, not necessarily dehydrate. You're gonna dry them. So you're gonna put them either in the sun, or you're gonna hang them in a dry room, or you're gonna put them between 2 paper towels, or if you've got a dehydrator, you can put them in the dehydrator. You can also put them in your oven at a very slow roast. Now, if you keep a little bit of the green to it, that's gonna create flavors that are very similar to green tea. And what your option number one is, you're gonna wanna get yourself a little tea steeper like this. And if I can find this on Amazon, I will give you a link. Of course, if you use my links, it helps me out because I get a very, very tiny commission off of that, and I really appreciate it. And you're a superstar in my book. So you will get something like this. So you're gonna get yourself one of these guys, and then basically the way it works is you're gonna put the crushed up leaves inside. There's a little tea steeper in there, right? So you just like that, right? And then if you keep them that they're not like roasted, they're just dried, so they're green, it's gonna have a green tea flavor. You're gonna pour boiling water over there. There you go. That's gonna release the caffeines. And then this has the little top, so you can actually keep the leaves in there if you wanted to and drink right like that. Option number two, and I highly recommend one of these, especially if you're in the preparedness community. Get yourself one of these stainless steel little tea balls, right? And this will steep in your boiling hot water. So the way it works is it just pops, and I'll put a link to these if I can find it on Amazon in my description below. Just pops open. Put a couple leaves in there like that. Whoop, let's fix that. Put a couple leaves in there. And then you lock it back up. And then that hangs on the edge of your cup, and you can pour the boiling water in and do it that way. Now, option number three, which I think is probably the best tasting, is if you roast these leaves at a low temperature in your oven, or you put them on some tin foil on the grill or on a little bit of fire so that they turn brown and crumbly. That's gonna create different flavors with it. It's still gonna have the caffeine in there, but now it's gonna have like a smoky, dark coffee kind of taste. So I think that's gonna be your best option, okay? And then you just put, again, you're just gonna put it in your little tea ball, hang it in your cup, and you're gonna pour boiling hot water over it, okay? All right, folks, thank you so much for watching. Please make sure you check out Rogue Preparedness Podcast, and also she is on YouTube. I'll put a link down to her channel down below. Morgan has been a fantastic friend to me for quite a while. She is also somebody that I consider like a personal mentor. I mean, she's not really my mentor, but I look at her channel and I see her positivity in the way that she approaches preparedness, giving people hope. And that's one of the things that inspired me to do the work that I do on my channel. So if you go over there, please subscribe, tell her that Sarge sent you. That's going to do it for today. Keep planting your seeds, keep stacking your silver. This is Prepping with Sarge.